Martim Fernandes, Portuguese, Porto right back. Now, this is a name that it annoys me when I have to say this because Sam obviously floated it for those who read his works or his Patron, etc. Shout out to Sam there. He put his name on and people went, naturally like us, who the hell's Martim Fernandes?
Yeah.
And then from two things, Barts. Number one, digging around. Yeah, there is interest in this, which is also annoying because Sam Maguire can be a smug git for those ones who know this type of thing. So, yeah, there seems to be weight in that. And the second thing, Bart, we had that question. It's fair to say before we get into this fully, we're like, who is Martim Fernandes? By the way, we changed that to who is Martim Fernandes, by the way, didn't we?
Yeah. It's another one. This could be a smart data signing, I have to say. And the more we do these, like we looked at Reed last episode, didn't we?
Yeah.
It was another one. Not a lot of data on the surface, but little shoots here and there. You think, oh, there's a bit more on that. There's a bit more on that. You could understand that. And this is the idea. I mean, first of all, it always depresses me when I see these kids being born past 2000. But anyway, we look at minutes played, which is right down the bottom, playing time. So he has played, made 4 starts in his first season, age 17. Only 256 minutes. So, and remember I said about the impact on the team. It was obviously a kid coming on minimal minutes and a negative effect on performance. If you look at him though, playing for Porto in Europa League and the league, okay, so he is now, that's this season, he's made 5 starts in Europa League and 18 in the league. So he now has a combined minutes of just short of 1,500, probably around 1,500. Which is a good progression again from 250, probably a little bit over the threshold, but okay, not a problem. And he's also, minutes per start, he's actually pretty much banging the same as he was in his first season. Yeah, so 64 first season. This season, Europa League, he's played 62 minutes per start, and then in the league, he's played 65 minutes per start. So he doesn't finish many games, comes off. Absolutely fine for a kid to be doing that, right? That's smart. And he's actually now at a point where he's adding to the performance of the team he's in. Yeah. So that is a good position to be in as a youngster. We go forward. Obviously, this is going to suffer from the same things because there's not a lot of data available from Portugal unless you're a club and you get some other insight. That's the data. But if you look at what he's done in Europa League, we go up to the top shot goal creating action. Europa League 0.29. Okay, not too bad. We look at his passing. So he's got per 90, so he's played 5 games. So he's made 2.28 progressive, 2.29 progressive passes a game. Okay. This is good. This is looking okay. 285, so just under 3 final third. Key passes just under 2. So there's some good signs there, should we say, for a kid that young to making that type of pass.
Yeah.
We look at the combined. So total non-boot XG and XA 0.21, 0.21. So for a fullback, there's some promising elements there.
Yeah.
Like, to be fair, to what he's doing, limited minutes, only an hour. Yeah, there's some things to like on that. So there's definitely some shoots there, I would say, to where he is. What does he do in terms of his passing? Because we sometimes look at where he favours. So if we look at his attempted passes in the Europa League per 90, he is not a bad mix between medium and short. So he's not afraid for the slightly longer. The longer ball, he's still doing 5-6 a game, which could be a switch. So there's a lot to like on that, I would suggest. Caveat, when I ran this, it's limited data, so please take that into mind. But he does seem to be taking up some good positions, which is okay. He's involved in the U, which is what we want for a forward.
Yeah.
Okay. Involved, first half not a lot, but second half probably 2 or 3 every minute, which is what you want. And he's also involved in lower chains, that could be part of his game, and he's not that involved in terms of our progressive passes. But yeah, he's a kid. It'd be sometimes you got to take caveat where he is and what he's doing. So if you look at what he can do, though, defensively, he stopped 100% of the threat coming out. That's very good. Very good. The areas he's playing at in terms of creating threat, though, he's down this side. So that is some good. What's that? 12, 8, nearly 12% of the EP3 in his kind of area. So that's pleasing to see. He's involved in that. Off the ball, the channel which he would be involved in. Okay, similar to EPB actually, 12% making threat, and these are the boxes he'd be involved in. So there is 12, 13, just under 15% of the team's defensive actions are in his kind of area. So there's some good signs there, I would suggest.
Yeah.
XG, not really involved that much. But so overall, George 100%. Pass success in this game 90%. So I would say there's more than some shoots of what he could be here. I'd always back your sources as well, and certainly if Sam's giving him a big up, then there's probably a good player to keep an eye on. Just sort of check his injuries, and he's missed. What's he missed? He's missed 8 games through injury, which isn't. They're only muscular. So it's not a major, nothing majorly to be concerned with. I just thought I'd do that where we were looking. But no, certainly a player I think could be right in that wheelhouse of another dive. Now let's go and look at the video on him, and then let's make a decision. So intrigued to know what you've got on the fees and the rest of it.
It's interesting because, like you say, you're having a look at the data, and it is limited people the one we've got, but 6 foot, which is always important to say. You've got usually you want height because you need a bit of aerial for your fullbacks, for us especially the way we defend. But as you said, it struck me already that it was high 70s, maybe into the 80s for passing success, and that range of long, medium, and short. So he can switch it, he can really mix it up, and he's got 5 assists, as it shows there, and an XAG of 0.7. And it was interesting. I think he said, like, over on average, 1 chance or creating over, I think it was 1.7 or something like that per game as well. So there is a lot to like. He seems progressive. He seems to move the ball forward. We don't have his speed, for anyone asks that, but I would guess, and I may be wrong, but you don't tend to find many slow fullbacks playing in the Portuguese league, and the nature of getting 5 assists as well. So we don't have the exact stat, but you'd expect he's quick. For this part, for a kid that is making those passing metrics, I think you phrased it well, more than shoots. Porto, we've got a good relationship with Porto, and digging a bit on this, that all the way back to Gruidge, Julian Ward's involved. When Diaz came, we actually helped pay a bit of their debt because they were really struggling. We have a really good relationship. Julian Ward, fluent in Portuguese, so there's connections there. We know about that as well. If the price point was around, as we're being told, the 20 to 25 million mark, what would you say?
I think that's a very interesting proposition. I think they'd probably structure it in a way that would make that even cheaper for us, to be honest with you. Because, as you said, we've got a good relationship with them. So, he's another one. I've said this on so many pods already, but I think there's an opportunity this summer to buy a data-proven young prospect that could be amazing, like Hato. I keep going back to that kid. I just think there's an opportunity to get a couple of these players in at this age profile with the green shoots from the public data, let alone the data they've got. Yeah. And yes, it might look on the front of it, wow, that's going to be a lot of money, But if you give him the right minutes, so we progress his minutes up from 1,500 now, we give him another 1,500, but in the Premier League, right? Notch up a little bit. Then you start building him. It might be a season-long time, but it could be an absolute stalwart for the side for years to come, right?
Yeah.
Even if he isn't, you can flip him, right? So, Vandenberg, how much should we sell him for in the end?
Yeah,
20 million this
25.
summer? 25 million. We bought him for less than 5. Right? So what I'm saying to you, they analyse that kid, youngster, and yes, he didn't go on to become a star for Liverpool Football Club, but he became a Premier League centre half, or he made money in it. And what I'm saying here, this has got some really nice stuff, some really little bits where you think, okay, that could be really exciting, and the scouts clearly like him. And then, as I said, there's a couple of other profiles that we've looked at and gone, there's some stuff in there. I just think this summer, the more you see links like this, you think, okay, are we going to do one of those where we build in a lot of these kids coming in as a not complete reset? So not quite agree with that, and then with the view that these will become the team for 25-26 maybe, or 26-27, the last end of the next season. So yeah, I think for that price point, if they get it down, as I've said with others that we've already mentioned, I think that's worth a punt personally. I think the data is there. I think there's bits enough there for me, and I know that I have better data than me to do that. The same for the previous ladder. I think those two for less than £50 million. I think you could be looking back on a couple of years and going, "Wow, what a deal they were."
And people will look at that one because we talked about Reed, wasn't it, at Feyenoord the other day? When we're stacking it, and I had a scan back at the numbers, and this is not to be disparaging because they're both young kids, different leagues, but I think it's fair to say Fernandes probably looks a little bit ahead of Reed in what we're looking for. Do you think?
Yeah. I think the attacking output, which is limited, right? This is Europa League. I can't stress enough that I normally wouldn't be going, oh yeah, kind of losing my marbles over him, but that there's some decent XG and XA that for a kid in the Europa League, that's not bad, right? I can't tell you that's a trend because there's not enough data there. But as a one-off little snapshot, that's a better from memory than the Reed kid, right? And we also know that Portuguese players generally do okay if they're coming over here. I'd have to look up the exact conversion rate, but I think it's better than Eredivisie. Yeah. So there's a conversion in terms of coming over, and the metrics don't fall off that much. So yeah, I've had a quick look to see if I could find some threat on him, but unfortunately, our old favourite Mark doesn't do Portugal either. So there you go.
There we go. But a young right back that does around currently 1,500 minutes could be very valuable, especially mixed up with Conor Bradley. And we'll have to see how that develops. But yeah, Martim Fernandes, keep him high on your watch list. Mohamed Amora, if we're going to make stats-based decisions, keep him high on the list as well. There's a lot to like. People will shout sample size at both, but there may be, as Bart calls it, a summer of a few punts it wouldn't be sad to see. That being said, Liam Delap, forget it, rather than anything else. We can analyse it all day, but there's nothing we're seeing there that would really make sense. But yeah, just to be clear, people, Mohamed Amora, probably more, as Bart says, more than a few shoots there for Martim Fernandes, might well be the one to keep an eye on from these three.